Graduands, honorary graduate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as President and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Southampton, let me warmly, and that would seem an apt word, welcome you to the university today. And it is my great pleasure to declare open this ceremony for conferment of awards. On behalf of the university and my colleagues, let me be the first to congratulate each of you graduating today. Graduation is a highlight, possibly the highlight of the academic year for all of us at the university, and it's an occasion when we can celebrate your successes with you. Today you walked into this hall as graduands, which is a rather specific title for someone about to receive an academic degree, and you will leave as University of Southampton graduates. This is a very special occasion and one I hope you'll remember with great pleasure in years to come. We are all very proud of you, and I hope that you are enjoying great personal satisfaction in the successful completion of your studies and the award that you're about to receive. It represents a very significant achievement and one in which you can take enormous pride. We're also delighted to welcome your family and friends to this ceremony, and I know that today marks a very important day for all of you. My colleagues here at the university and I are well aware that on the long journey from even considering, never mind first arriving at Southampton to study, through to this ceremony today, your support has been essential. So on behalf of our graduating students, we offer thanks to you, their families, partners and friends. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our staff at the university, some of whom are on the stage next to me, for their support and commitment in helping our students to reach this point today. So graduands, it's a phrase and I'll use it, please join me in thanking your families and friends and our staff for their roles in your success. Please. Graduation certainly represents the culmination of years of hard work, but a university education is about much more than just gaining a degree certificate. Studying at university provides you with skills and knowledge to use in your chosen careers and also your lives. It's also a time when we shape our thinking and make friends for life. For most of us, it's a time when we also grow up. Perhaps the most important skill we acquire is the ability to learn how to learn. And I can assure you from my own experience that this will prove invaluable in the years to come as your lives and careers develop. As I look back, somewhat sadly with 33 years perspective to my own undergraduate graduation, I recognize a strong educational foundation, a wide range of extracurricular pursuits, and a friendship network that has endured to this day, and that has stood me in very good stead for the life and career that has followed. And I very much hope that when you look back with a few decades of perspective, you'll have similar, again, warm feelings about your time at university. You'll be pleased to hear, and forgive me, this is an opportunity for Vice-Chancellors to boast, it's been another successful year at the university. This year we're celebrating 100 years of academic life here at our Highfield campus, and we're marking this milestone by naming our impressive new learning and teaching facility, which I think is approximately over there, the Centenary Building. And no doubt you'll have seen this taking shape nearby on Salisbury Road, and I'm delighted to report that it will open next month. 100 is also a good number for our university in 2019, as we've again been listed as one of the top 100 universities in the world in the QS World Rankings. And to put this in context, there are actually over 1,000 universities featured in the list published by QS, and it's generally estimated that there are more than 20,000 universities worldwide. So being in the top 100 globally is something that we can all be very proud of. And along with that, we're also ranked as one of the top 20 universities in the UK in the latest edition of the Complete University Guide. As you move on to the next stage of your careers today, you'll be pleased to know that our graduates continue to be highly sought after by employers. The employment and further study outcomes for our graduates continue to improve year on year and are amongst the best in the UK. And we're currently second in the Russell Group for the number of graduates in employment. And in support of this, we've continued to attract top employers to engage with our students. The Graduate Market in 2019 report cited Southampton once again as one of the top 20 UK universities for attracting the largest number of top graduate recruiters. While you've been studying here, you'll have seen that we've invested heavily in our university, and we will continue to do so over the coming years to ensure that we meet the changing needs of our students throughout the 21st century. We've also maintained our strong international outlook, In March, we launched the India Centre for Inclusive Growth and Sustainable Development with the vision to create a globally recognised centre for innovation, knowledge transfer and capacity building. And in June, the Indian High Commissioner was on campus for the planting of a tree to mark the 150th anniversary of the birth of Mahatma Gandhi this year. And as your interim Vice-Chancellor, I don't get many opportunities to plant trees. In fact, this was my first, but it was a very good one to have participated in. Graduands, you graduate today with much more than a qualification. And as I've said, my own experience tells me that you'll have also gained a wealth of experience, fantastic memories, strong personal relationships that will continue to serve you well in the exciting years ahead. This is by no means the end of your journey with us, but simply the beginning of a lifelong relationship that will support you throughout your career and beyond. We do very much hope that you'll stay in touch, whether it's by continuing to access the careers support and advice available to you as a new graduate, networking with your fellow alumni via our social media channels, participating in university events, or by becoming a mentor to future students. And please do let us know how you're progressing with your careers and further studies. On a personal note, I look forward to meeting each of you as you cross the stage in a few minutes. Again, many congratulations. Well done.
Good afternoon. I'm Professor Russell Bentley in the Department of Politics and International Relations and the Deputy Head of the School of Economic, Social, and Political Sciences. President and Vice Chancellor, I submit to you the candidates from Social Sciences for the awards of Bachelor of Science in the Social Sciences, Master of Science in the Social Sciences, Doctor of Philosophy. The names of the candidates from Politics and International Relations are shown in the program, and I ask that you admit them to their awards.
I admit them and those in absentia to their awards.
President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Bachelor of Science: Charlotte Louise Hooker. President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Bachelors of Science in the Social Sciences: Matthew Alfrey. Lawrence Baker. Abu Bakr Ibrahim Dankwambo. Brandon Flood. Dominic Hember. Jacob Alexander Husona. Hannah Emily Ruslet Johansson. Luke Benjamin Johnson. Rodri Morgan. Tawela Nojovu. Oliver Nurser. Thelma Onifua. Anthony James Michael Parks. Sonali Shah. Nikita Singh. Richard Tao. George Villers. George Williams. Tuala Mika Ziegelmeyer. Connor Liam Adair. Almina Agus. Farzana Ali. Henry Braithwaite. Harry Carter Herndon. Darius Sick. Jack William Confrey. Jennifer Crosby. Thomas Sebastian Glenn Bramley. Aidan Hogan. William Barnaby Hogan. Karis Ann Holland. Charlotte Lavender. Simon Osler. Tom Price. Ruth Elizabeth Puttyfoot. Andrew Roberts. Matthew Shaw. Matthew Smalley Harris. Reuben Staples Burton. Molly Ann Bridget Stalker. Roberto Vlaschino. Declan Bolger. Alexander Bondariev. Jordan Nathaniel Buck Forbes. Michael Peter Cunningham. Sheikh Riza Latif Luigi Hassan. Molly Alice Mortimer. In addition to the degree awarded, the following graduate has also been awarded Athletic Union Club colors. George Newitt. Sedef Ordu. Charles Pound. Ross Stewart. Emily Mae Taylor. Veronica Bin Min Tran. Cyrus Zach. Stefania Zenyu. James Nicholas Adams. Shahir Ali. Manvir Singh Aulak. Rebecca Best. Jamie William Betts. Laura Birkinshaw. Thomas James Anthony Bryant. Patrick Cunningham. Gabriela Dimitrova. Millie Elizabeth Rose Dodd. Alistair Matthew Dommett. Luke James Ellis. Toby Flower. Isabel Freeman. Angus Robert Gownlock. Sulaksna Ganu. Christopher George Halco. Nathaniel Haste. Martha Hulwen Hawkins. Harry Haywood. Cecile Delphine Aurora Howard. Keir Hyde. Maya Samira Jackman Williams. Thomas Matthew Jackson. Marcus Kempton. Joseph William Lawrence. Daniel Levy. Oliver Lucas. Connor Francis Mackus. James John McMath. Benjamin Francis Moore. Joshua Lewis Morgan. Edward John Murray. Rachel Olawafansho Omalara Oladunjo. Zhang Xin Ong. Nathan Overton. Daniel Parkin. Harriet Louise Penna. Luke John Perkins. Ben Pinkney. Mateo Ivan Radman. Luke Rawlings. William Angus James Rendell. Anisha Shaw. Matthew Shorrock. Anna Smolinski. Alex Tanney. James Tate. Carly Timmerick. Angus Whitfield. Temi Loluwa Adepoju. President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Masters of Science. Emily Louise McLaren Damster. Thomas Edward Eade. Carrie Ann Claire Gowerly. Jordan Gerald John McLeod. Bailey Robert Patrick Milne. Katie Danielle Passy. Simon Pinney. Patrick Henry Thomas. President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Masters of Science. Freya Elorigea Millard. Guinevere Nichols. Rachel Fallon. President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Masters of Science in the Social Sciences. Wendy Elizabeth Barnaby. Andrew John Briggs. President and Vice Chancellor, I present to you the following Doctors of Philosophy. For a thesis entitled Understanding the Nature of Presidential Policymaking in Mexico Through an Agenda-Setting Approach, Ana Carolina Aranda Jan. For a thesis entitled International Organizations' Influences on Turkish Asylum Policy, 1997 to 2016, Unpacking the Transnational Mechanisms from the Outside In and Back, Yusuf Çiftçi. For a thesis entitled Policy Agendas and Regime Liberalization, The Case of Hong Kong, 1975 to 2016, Hin Kin Orr.
Hello, I'm the public orator, and I'm going to tell you about the honorary graduate who's seated next to the President and Vice Chancellor. Helen Elizabeth Clark is a New Zealand politician who served as the 37th Prime Minister of New Zealand from 1999 until 2008 and was the administrator of the United Nations Development Programme from 2009 to 2017. Helen is the eldest of 4 daughters raised on a farm in Te Pahu, west of Hamilton, in the Waikato region of New Zealand. Her mother, Margaret, was a primary school teacher, and her father, George, was a farmer on whom she cut her teeth in intense political arguments. In 1968, Helen entered the University of Auckland to study for a Bachelor of Arts degree, initially in history, German, English, and political studies. In her second and third years, she focused on history and political studies, including Asian politics. She went on to complete a master's degree with first-class honours in political studies. After her master's, Helen began teaching in the political studies department of the University of Auckland. Already active in the New Zealand Labour Party, she stood first as a candidate for local office in 1974 and again in 1977. In 1975, she contested the rural electorate of Piako in the parliamentary elections. Helen met her future husband, Peter Davis, in 1977. He had recently taken up the post of medical sociologist in the Auckland Medical School and is an alumnus of the University of Southampton, having graduated with a BA Hons in History in 1968. Peter's parents lived in Hampshire, and consequently, Helen came to be a visitor to the New Forest area. Helen was elected to the New Zealand Parliament in 1981 as the member for Mount Albert in Auckland, a constituency she represented until 2009. Thus began an extensive parliamentary and ministerial career. She was successively a high-profile backbencher, Minister of Housing Conservation, Health and Labour, Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, and then Leader of the Opposition for 6 years, becoming Prime Minister of New Zealand for 3 successive terms from 1999 until 2008. Helen was the second woman to serve as Prime Minister and the first woman to become Prime Minister following a general election. Throughout her 9 years as Prime Minister and 27 years as a Member of Parliament, Helen engaged widely in policy development and advocacy across the international, economic, social, environmental, and cultural spheres. She advocated strongly a comprehensive programme on sustainability for New Zealand and for tackling the challenges of climate change. She set herself the task of making New Zealand the first ecologically sustainable nation, describing this as central to New Zealand's unique national identity. She demonstrated a commitment to upholding and extending Maori rights and welfare, and was a strong supporter of nuclear disarmament, not least in advocacy for New Zealand's nuclear-free legislation of 1987 and for a nuclear-free Pacific. Her government's major policy achievements included the Working for Families cash transfer scheme, boosting the incomes of low and lower middle income families, annual meaningful increases to the minimum wage, interest-free student loans for those who stayed in New Zealand after graduation, access to 20 hours for early childhood education for all 3- and 4-year-olds, establishment of an entitlement in law for paid parental leave at the time of the birth of a new baby, and the establishment of the New Zealand Supreme Court as the highest appellate court, replacing the House of Lords. Supporters and critics alike acknowledge her resilience and determination not to be beaten, and her not being afraid to make hard decisions. She was described as having super intelligence combined with an appetite for work. Of Helen's intellect, one of her biographers wrote, "There is absolute consensus. The woman is scarily smart." Another commentator used the then current computing terminology. The thing about Helen is the processing power. She's like a Pentium when everyone else is a 286. On the 17th of April 2009, Helen became the administrator of the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, and was the first woman to lead the organisation. She was also the chair of the United Nations Development Group, a committee comprising the heads of all UN funds, programmes and departments working on development issues. Helen worked to reform the administration and bureaucracy of UNDP with an emphasis on greater transparency in the organisation. The Publish What You Fund campaign ranked UNPD in 2015 and 2016 under Helen's administration as the most transparent aid organisation in the world. During her tenure, which she completed in April 2017, the ratio of women to men at UNDP reached 50%, including at the most senior level of the organisation. Between 2006 and 2017, Helen appeared in the Forbes 100 Most Powerful Women list. Among a range of honours and recognition, she has been awarded the annual Peace Prize of the Danish Peace Foundation for her work in promoting peace and nuclear disarmament. She received that in 1986. The New Zealand Suffrage Centennial Medal, 1993. the Nuclear Free Future Award for installing New Zealand at the forefront of the world's political movement to rid the earth of nuclear weapons, 2002. The Star of the Solomon Islands in recognition of New Zealand's role in restoring law and order in the Solomon Islands, 2005. The United Nations Environment Programme Champions of the Earth Award in recognition of the government's promotion of sustainability initiatives, 2008. The Order of New Zealand, New Zealand's highest honour for services to New Zealand, 2010. A Lifetime Achievement Award at the New Zealand Women of Influence Awards, 2017. The Grand Cordon of the Order of the Rising Sun, one of Japan's highest imperial orders, 2017. Her bid as a candidate to replace Ban Ki-moon as UN Secretary General in 2016 is the topic of a documentary film, My Year with Helen, which premiered in Sydney in June 2017. Helen enjoys active holidays and is a keen hiker and cross-country skier in New Zealand and beyond. She has climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest peak, 6,000 metres above sea level, and to the same height on Aconcagua in Argentina, the tallest mountain outside Asia. Just 2 months ago, she was trekking at 4,000 metres in the Everest region of Nepal. She enjoys the performing arts of opera, theatre and dance, and reads widely. As Prime Minister, she also held the portfolio of arts, culture and heritage, and supported participation and enjoyment of all genres, a reason for her guest starring in Brotown, a New Zealand animated television series. Helen continues to speak widely and be a strong voice on sustainable development, climate action, gender equality and women's leadership, peace and justice, and action on non-communicable diseases and on HIV. She serves on several advisory boards and commissions, including as chair of the advisory board of UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report. In June this year, she assumed the chairpersonship of the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative Board, and in July, the chair of the board on the Partnership for Maternal, Newborn and Child Health. The University of Southampton recognises Helen's global commitment and leadership in improving economic, social and governance outcomes in developed and developing countries and in promoting gender equality. Her emphasis on the Pacific and the environment, particularly in addressing climate change and the maritime economy, match perfectly the University of Southampton's international foci and priorities. President and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you the Right Honourable Helen Clark as eminently worthy of the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Professor Spearman, President and Vice-Chancellor of Southampton University, all members of the university community, graduates, families and friends. And thank you to the university for conferring on me this honorary doctorate. It is, of course, a great honour to receive this from such a prestigious university. I want to address my brief comments today to today's graduates. It is 45 years since I graduated with my master's degree in political studies from the University of Auckland. My education provided essential building blocks from which to rise to the top of the New Zealand political system, then to one of the most senior positions at the United Nations, and now to lead and participate in a wide range of international organisations. Your education here at Southampton can also provide you with those building blocks for you to reach your dreams. In 1974, my generation of graduates emerged into a world very different from that of 2019. For a start, there were no cell phones, no social media, no internet. Democratic governments were not very numerous. Apartheid ruled South Africa. The Cold War and nuclear standoff between the American and Soviet Union-led camps was in full swing. China was still a very poor country and far from being the major economic and geopolitical force it is today. Climate change was in no one's vocabulary, and extreme poverty was widespread around the world. My point, while a relentless tide of bad news often makes today's world look like a dystopia, actually a lot has changed for the better for many. But progress has been uneven, and a number of the old challenges remain, from extreme and multidimensional poverty to denial of civil and political rights. And to those are added the new challenges, not least the pace of climate change and other environmental degradation, and the scale of those impacts, the changing nature of conflict with intractable civil wars and the proliferation of the non-state actors and those, technological change with profound implications for economies and societies, and the very rapid pace of urbanisation. Around 55% of the world's peoples live in cities now, and that will grow to more than 2/3 by 2050. That is the world into which you, today's graduates, will apply your talents. And I believe it's very important that each one of you believes that you can make a difference for the better, whatever the course of study you have completed and wherever you aspire to work. My career choice was to be active in public life and decision-making, but that is only one of many ways to contribute back to society and our world. Inspirational leaders are to be found in all walks of life, from those who want their companies to be identified by their commitment to sustainability, to those who educate, who research, who provide health and other services, who care for their local environment, and/or work with and for the most marginalised populations around our world. Southampton's graduates will surely be found among those inspirational leaders of the future. Problematic as the times we live in are, I remain an optimist. I believe it is within our capacity as a human community to overcome the challenges before us. That will require leadership from you, investment in human capacities, and a determination of all societies to grow and develop in ways which are inclusive and sustainable. And so I encourage each of you as Southampton graduates to think about how your knowledge and skills can be put to the service not only of advancing your own careers, important as that is, but also advancing our common future. Thank you once again to the University for giving me the honour of the honorary doctorate today.
Thank you and congratulations from the Students' Union. President and Vice-Chancellor, graduates, guests, friends and family, my name is Laura and I have the great honour to represent the students of this university as your elected VP Welfare and Communities at the Students' Union. On behalf of all our staff and volunteers, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you. At SUSU, we firmly believe that your time at university is about so much more than your degree. It's about becoming independent, learning new life skills, trying new things, making lifelong friendships, and knowing where to get the best takeaway in Southampton. At SUSU, we're proud to offer these extracurricular activities, which shape your time at the university, from our 300+ clubs and societies to our thousands of elected student volunteers and representatives. It's because of you that we were able to work with the university to lower the cost of printing, engage over 3,500 students as part of our You Are More Than campaigns, and win our 10th varsity competition against the University of Portsmouth, though at this point it's not that difficult. You came to our events, you made use of our support services, and we are proud to champion the causes that you care about. This year included our biggest Black History Month to date and our first ever SUSU Pride, in support of our LGBT+ community. Everything we do as a union is for our members, and it's thanks to you that Southampton was recently voted a top 10 students' union for its clubs and societies, and a top 20 union overall. But most importantly, you made it. Despite all the hurdles and all the hardships, you made it, and you should be proud of yourselves. On behalf of the Students' Union, congratulate once again, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day here. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Professor Jane Falkingham, and I'm the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences here at the University of Southampton. On behalf of all of us, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations on the remarkable achievement that has brought you here today. Social sciences, in its broadest sense, is the study of society, the manner in which people behave, and the way in which they influence the world around us. They tell us about the world beyond our immediate experience and enable us to take on the most pressing collective challenges that we face as a society. As graduates today in political sciences, you will go on to embrace challenges you cannot yet imagine. You will have an important role in helping to determine the political, economic, moral, and intellectual well-being of society. And you will do this by drawing directly upon the experience and the knowledge you have gained in your time here. Collectively, it must be said, you have set the bar very high indeed. Politics students working with Dr. Matt Ryan have visited Whitehall and Parliament to discuss with local MP and Immigration Minister Caroline Noakes, I should say former Immigration Minister Caroline Noakes, as well as senior civil servants, the Treasury and Cabinet Office, the challenges of policy making whilst reducing budgets amid Brexit uncertainty. And following this, several politics students were invited to provide expert commentary on Brexit on BBC's national and local news for both radio and television. Politics and international relations students have also been part of the team for the Sky News coverage of the US midterms last autumn, as well as the recent UK local elections and European parliamentary elections, working with Professor Will Jennings on collecting and analysing the data for the election in real time, staying up throughout the night and gaining real hands-on experience. Lighting the way for all of you are our alumni who continue to delight us with their achievements. International Relations PhD student Alexandra Vocchia has recently taken up a role as coordinator of strategic planning and outreach at the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean in Trinidad. And Anna Killock is working with former local MP John Denham at the Southern Policy Centre. Last year, BBC journalist and University Pro-Chancellor John Sopel, whose extensive US political coverage you hear every day, returned to Southampton to deliver a fascinating lecture on politics, lies, and alternative facts. It was a hugely entertaining evening that gave us a unique insight into the trials and tribulations of international journalism. And of course, today we are delighted to welcome Helen Clark, former Prime Minister of New Zealand, into our community of honorary graduates, and she becomes an alumni of the university. So today you leave a department that is, like you, committed to making an impact on society. You will have worked alongside and have been taught by some of the leading thinkers in your discipline. We hope that we can continue to inspire and inform you as alumni of the university, that you will stay in touch and you will come back whenever the opportunity presents. As you set forth today on this new stage in your personal adventure, we hope that you will take with you those qualities fundamental to social scientists that we have come to expect of you. Your integrity in holding to that moral compass, ensuring fairness to all and in all that you do. Your curiosity in seeking out new knowledge, continually pushing at the boundaries of your experience. And your empathy in always looking to the wider context with humility and with compassion. As you go on forward, we will be looking on with interest, with admiration, and with a most profound sense of pride. We look forward to welcoming you and your family and friends to the reception after this ceremony. I have a brief announcement to make. So storms are forecast, and so we have moved the reception from the marquee to the garden court. So please join us there after the end of the ceremony. Thank you.
Now, as it were, we come to the big finish. Graduates, we're here to celebrate your success. We're all very proud of you, and you can be very proud of yourselves. In the United States, an event such as this is called a commencement, and that's a good term because it signifies this is the commencing, the beginning of many things, rather than the end of anything in particular. I'm sure as you leave the hall today, you'll be greeted by many interesting, exciting opportunities. And as a wise person once said, if for some reason opportunity does not knock, then just go and build a door. So I'm going to ask our graduates to remain seated, whilst everyone else who is able, please stand and let us show our graduates how we really feel about them, with a round of applause, and cheering is much encouraged. Hooray! This is the difficult bit. If I could restore order, there's a certain formality to take place. So please, if you could just sit down for a second. I'll take the opportunity to congratulate our graduates one final time. You have done extremely well, and we very much look forward to your future success. I'd like to thank all our guests for being with us on this special day. And now I declare this ceremony closed. Thank you.